What's up, everybody? It's your boy Ryan. I'm in the gaming studio. I'm about to play some Warzone. So look, I want to quick talk about being careful not to attribute your negative response to a stack to one singular compound and then be sold on it. If you get a negative response from a stack, like it makes you tired or it increases your inclination to multitask and puts you in a place where focus is harder, you definitely have to find the reason why. Usually it's overstimulation in those cases, but you can't be dogmatic about one compound. You just have to theorize about which compound is causing it, and then just do some extensive reading and researching and watching our content and watching some other nootropics YouTubers content if you can find any that are nuanced enough, and then some research on the brain chemistry side. And then, you've got to run the experiment again ultimately to see which compound was negatively affecting you by changing one compound or the other that you're pretty sure was negatively affecting you. You'd really just change the dose of it based on your response. But other factors too. I mean, so many other variables contribute to your responses to nootropics. I mean, I get people all the time, whether in consulting or otherwise, that are just like, hey, I did this and, I got this response. It's definitely this. And I'll go through the process with them. How are you sure? Have you isolated? How can you be positive that this compound that you've isolated is causing your problem in this stack? And usually it's a guess, right? It's somewhat of an educated guess or a hunt or something. And in some cases they're right, in some cases there isn't. But in some cases, like it's the kind bar that they ate, 30 minutes prior that's got some simple sugars in it, and their response to sugar is not particularly great at 1 p.m. And in some cases it's the other supplement that they took and wanted to try one day alongside their stack or 30 minutes prior to their stack, just not thinking it will interact or whatever, but it just so happens to have like a mechanism of action that is definitely interacting with some compound in their stack and therefore providing some sort of negative result. Okay, so I mean that's just one example. It could be so many things, right? Isolating it is difficult. You've got to select what you think is the issue and then change something in the stack, again, based on backing up your hypothesis with a lot of research. You just want to be confident before you change something. You want to change an ingredient you want to change something in the stack one ingredient at a time, and you want to change it in pretty low doses, right? You want to move it up a little or down a little depending on what your negative response was. I mean, usually you're taking things down a little, but in some cases up a little. And then you want to run it again. You want to try again and see if all other conditions are the same in your lifestyle that includes your diet and your sleep and your workout and everything else. All of that shit matters, guys. If it's all the same, run the stack again and with the modified dose and see if you end up in a different position. Then you will know, like in this case, it was the bromantane, that was causing some sort of negative reaction, or it just shouldn't be dosed at 50 milligrams instead. For you, it should be dosed at 35 milligrams. Okay, you've got to ruthlessly see. People give up on this kind of stuff, and that's why in the end, I don't think people give up with nootropics, but they give up on certain compounds in their stack or certain stacks. That stack didn't work. Like there's a process of adjustment, man. There's a process. Some stacks take, minimally you're looking at 2 to 3 adjustments to get it perfected. If you're using the right methodology, which we teach in all the Nootropics courses, this is why this is so important, then you should be able to get an adjustment down in 2 to 3 tries. But it should not be taking you any more than that. And you've got to go through that process in order to get a perfected stack. People are just sort of looking for cookie cutter stacks, and some stacks are generally applicable and they're very useful for people, like the AACT stack, or generally caffeine and theanine together. But with your stacks, man, you've got to do some detailed thinking, and don't become dogmatic thinking it's one compound causing the problem and then you're set on it. And that's going to cause inaction. That's going to make you not take the compound again. When really it was something you did on the diet side, the sleep side, the gym side, the whatever side, another supplement side, or it's the stack, but it's something else in the stack. You got to think about it, right? This should have been called second guess yourself all the time when you have a hypothesis. But when you have your hypothesis about what in your stack may not be functioning correctly or causing some sort of weird side, ruthlessly work to back that up through adjustments and research. Thanks for watching.